Les, so first of all, can I just say like how nice it is to see you sat here like in the moments like this. It really does show what life is, and for someone like you to be at this club as for as long as you are and the backbone of Morecambe Football Club as a whole, it's so nice for you to finally be back here, but to see you looking as well as you are.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, mate.
No problem. Just talk us through then if you can. So for a lot of people that don't know, just let people know what kind of happened and how things went at that day at Wigan.
Well, it's about 2:45 and I'd been speaking to my family behind goals. Anyway, I just said a minute ago before to Gaffer, it was a long way to the dressing room. They're still sort of doing a COVID separation. And I says, I'm not going back in, Gaffer, if you don't mind. And then Liam Gibson sort of come past me. And this, as they're going back to the dressing rooms, I says, bloody hell, man, I feel a bit, crap here. He says, he says, you look a little bit, I says, go and get checked out. I says, well, I'll sit on dugout and when Sai comes, I'll just mention it. But if I'm on the floor, just carry on, he said. No, I said, sorry. And then kick-off come and chest was on fire. The doctor come and I had a Rene because I wasn't sweating, which apparently is a symptom as well. And then about 3:05, Sai looked at me and said, are you alright? I says, no, I'm not. So the guy come across. I managed to walk to medical room. And that was it. About 10 minutes later, the doctor at the crowd said, you're going through a heart attack. So that was in the space of about half an hour from being what I thought was fine to boom, blue lights all the way to hospital at Wythenshawe. So that's it.
Yeah, because I think I didn't know about it until half time, I think, because that was how kind of quick it kind of moved within that first 15 minutes or so to half time. Nobody kind of knew. There was a few murmurings in terms of what people had seen, but I think I came out to see you in the back of the ambulance and you were still cracking jokes then, so it just shows what you're about anyway.
You've got to, haven't you? You've got to try and, I haven't said a pain had eased, but till the guy had said you're going through it, you just think there's something else wrong with you. But my daughter come into the room, my son come in, and they'd left the grandkids with a friend behind the goals. And the doc had to send them out because they said they'll stress you out because she's all over at shop, Anyway, I remember seeing you outside ambulance with Rod. And to me that means a lot because the football was going on. But people still get the time to look at you, come and see you.
But the thing is, like, a lot of people do see football as life and death. And I know that you do anyway, because I think the third thing you said to me was, get back in there, like, we've got 3 points to go and win. Yeah. And that just shows enough about you as a person, first of all, that you've always been a selfless kind of person. You make sure that everybody else is seen to, the lads love you here. The amount of people that responded to the stuff on social media as well, like, just talk us a bit through, like, the people that you spoke to, what the outpour of emotions been like, because obviously doing this kind of interview now is not you, but it just shows that the amount of people that you've got behind you that absolutely love you.
Massive. I don't think anybody who comments and says words or sends messages must mean something. And I've had, I think I was in 4 figures, and that does mean a lot. Messages from old players from the 80s and 90s, from staff, from all the fans that you wouldn't even, some I don't even know. And I'll just give you an example. I was in the chemist getting my prescriptions. No, I wasn't. I was getting my pill box. My 7-day-a-week pill box. And there's a lady there. Hiya, Les, you alright? And I didn't know her. And she says, you won't know me. And I just said, to be nice, oh, you look familiar. And she says, oh, I sell programmes and I just wish you all the best. and that's what it's been right through. People you don't know to, like I say, people from the 80s, Ryan Zico-Black, from the 90s, an ex-player. No reason to message me, but I'm a friend with his wife now, and she even messaged me, and many, many more, mate. Many, many, many more.
So just talk us through what's obviously gone on since that Wigan, obviously you blue lighted to Women's Hospital. They do a lot with like heart specialists, heart failures and cardiac arrests and stuff like that. Just talk us through what your experience was like down there with them and how much of a good job did they do?
Well, we've got blue lighted and it's about a 35-minute journey. We nearly had an accident in the back. I'm strapped in, my daughter's in the front, and the second ambulance person was sat down and they had to do an emergency brake, did the driver, and I could feel me jerking and jogging, and the second man ended up on his backside in back ambulance, and I could hear daughter saying something. It was funny, and it does take your mind a little bit away, but yeah, we got there and apparently got taken straight in. I apologise to the ambulance man for being sick in all the ambulance as well. But yeah, it's the second. You reckon the second best heart place in England or in the UK? Someone said don't take me to Wigan Hospital, but that's just tongue in cheek because even the people at Wigan, everybody was fantastic at Wigan as well. But yeah, they did me straight away and put me a stent in, and then I went onto the ward about 6:30, the CCU ward, and again the nurses are all spot on, absolutely spot on. There's a professor come and saw me, there was the big doctor come and saw me, and there's a lot of people have a bad experiences in hospital, but from start to finish that was perfect.
Do you think it was fitting that you were to have something like this? Like you would never obviously want to have anything like this or dream of putting it on anybody, but for you, like you've spent majority of your life here, it'd have to happen at Morecambe, wouldn't it? Like it's just very fitting for you that it happened at a club that means so much to you in a really weird about way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I grew up with my wife now, Debbie. Before we were together, we still worked at Morecambe Football Club before. All our kids of each side know each other. And I used to joke with Tommy that him or me would go in the room, we'd be here, But again, I was probably in the right place at the right time.
Just about to say, you were probably in the best place for it with how quick the response team is and all that kind of stuff. It was probably the right place at the right time if you were to ever have it, really.
Absolutely. Could have been on the beach, could have been just having a bit of fun. The Friday night before, I was dancing around with my little granddaughter, 6-year-old granddaughter. Nothing, feeling anything at all. And but yeah, could have been anywhere at all, but to be in a place where, and they're so professional, Wigan, back then.
What does this football club mean to you? Like, we know you've been here for a year and a day and however long it is, but this just means more than just a football club to you, doesn't it?
I just know most people here. There's always some people you don't get on with, isn't there? The odd people you fall out with, but you've got to get on with it. It's what we know what we are. We're a small club. Sorry, Gaffer. We're still trying to get away from that a little bit, I think, and we're still learning. And I think personally, I've been part of that, and my family's been part of that. And even my daughter now, she comes to away games. Not everyone. She comes to every home game. 3 years ago, none of her kids liked football at all. The kid couldn't even kick a ball, and now they're trying to get into school football teams. Just that, if that's me, that has an effect on them. Imagine what the players, the gaffer, the management team, and everybody that comes in talks about it has on other people. So if we can keep this momentum going with 4,000 people on, that's like Rod always says we're only the custodians, you know, and it's true. As long as we leave it in a better place than when we first come, and that means that's it for me. It's just I enjoy doing it. Just enjoy doing it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it.
I know we've got 7 massive games now between now and the end of the season, haven't we, to try and ensure our status in Sky Bet League One, and I know you're desperate to get back and play with Bart in that.
I'm going to be back in properly on Friday. I don't have to do. Gaffer's asked me if he could bring someone in, which is all due respect. Thank you for asking, and I haven't got a problem with that. I know my limits now, for a while anyway, and I'll come and I'll do a bit. And on Saturday, when it all kicks off, like everybody, every Morecambe's fan and directors, staff and everybody, we want 3 points. And I'm sure something special is going to happen this Saturday. 3 points is coming, boys.